Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear students, we are doing chapter number 1, Secretary, in secretarial practice. See, as of now, we are done with origin of secretary, meaning and definition, its features. See, secretary, as we have seen already, is appointed by busy individuals or organizations to help them, right? On the basis of this, there has been a classification on the types of secretaries. See, as there is a growth, as there is a development of industries, and there is a transformation in the society from rural to urban, there is a need of various organizations which requires person to help them, right? See, the growth of industrialization and modernization has led to increase in various types of organization which requires a person on whom the individuals or the organization entrust, hand over their responsibilities. We have seen already there has been an industrialization, there is a development of industries, and again transformation in the work process, transformation in the society. On the basis of this, there has been bifurcation on the types of secretaries. Secretary is divided into two categories. The very first one is personal secretary and the second one is institutional secretary. In institutional secretary, it's furthermore divided or it's furthermore classified as secretary of non-profit association, secretary of cooperative society, secretary of a joint stock company, secretary of a government department, and then other body corporates. See, each of these we are going to study in detail. Each of this form of organization has been explained in chapter number 2. But as of now, I'm going to give you a short detail about each of these organizations. Coming to the personal secretary. Personal secretary, also known as personal assistant. To assist means to help. Thus I can say assistant is nothing but an helper. So personal secretary, also known as personal assistant, personal helper. Secondly, it's the oldest type of secretary we have seen already. And then it is appointed by busy individuals. Appointed by busy individuals for what? For doing correspondence and doing their day-to-day duties. Now, when I'm saying personal secretary and then busy individuals, the professions or the persons they come up in my mind are nothing but industrialist, businessmen and professionals. Now we are going to study about their appointment and their qualification. I repeat, personal secretary, also known as personal assistant, and it's one of the oldest type of secretary. Now once we say that it's appointed by an busy individuals, so obviously they're going to help in their day-to-day routine duties. Coming to the appointment, as we have already seen, appointed by busy individuals for their day-to-day work, to look after their other works other than their profession, and then these things enable them, these things allow the busy individual to concentrate on their primary work. Okay, it's appointed by busy individuals for their work which enables them, which allows them to concentrate, to have a proper concentration on their primary work. The examples of busy individuals are doctors, lawyers, engineers, chartered accountants, actors, politicians, leaders, ministers, etc. Now coming to the qualifications. What qualification is required to be a secretary of a busy individual, or I can say to be a personal secretary? Now see here, qualification depends upon the requirement of employer's profession. Okay, if an If let's take an example, if a person is a lawyer, so the employer or the lawyer will expect the secretary to have certain knowledge regarding how to arrange the books, okay, how to assist in helping those law books, or I can say how to type letters. Secondly, correspondence, right? To correspond means to write, so being an helper, writing letter to the clients. So yes, qualification depends upon the requirement of employer's profession, very first thing. Secondly, a graduation degree, the person should be a graduate, should have a graduation degree, should have good command over language. That means you should be very good in your speaking skills, on your you should be very good at your language. Then you should have knowledge of computers, internet skills is required, and now it has become a necessity. Okay, it's very important. Being a necessity means it's a basic need these days, that the person should have internet skills, and should have proper knowledge of the computers. So with this, we have a clear idea. If a person wants to be a personal secretary, who appoints personal secretary, and what are the qualifications to be a personal secretary. Coming to the institutional secretary. Now, a secretary appointed by an institution or organization is called as institutional secretary. In simple terms, a person appointed by an organization, a company, or any other association, that is group of persons coming together for working, is known as institutional secretary. See, some institutional secretaries are, the very first one is secretary of a non-profit association. See, the word non-profit itself says the main motive behind working is not to earn profit but to help the society. Association itself means a group, a club, or a company or an organization which is formed or which has come together to help the society. See, a non-profit association means the organizations formed to promote social, educational, cultural, arts, sports activities. Now, to promote means to encourage, okay? To promote means to encourage. They support what? Social development, educational development, cultural development, arts, and other sports activities with the intentions of providing services. Their intention is, okay, their motive behind is providing service and not to earn profit. They just want to provide services to the society and not to earn profit. See, non-profit association we are going to study in detail in chapter number 2. As I have already told you, all these type of institutions and organizations we are going to study in detail. Now we are going to see appointment of a secretary of non-profit association. See, non-profit association is looked after by management committee, which is elected by members. See, the word association means group of persons coming together. So now it's looked after by management committee, which is elected by members. When all the group members they have come together, they form a committee. They form a committee of members. The secretary may be a full-time or part-time person working on salary basis or honorarium basis. We have seen already what is salary basis and what is an honorarium basis when we were doing features of secretary, right? So now the secretary of this non-profit association may be a full-time or a part-time person working on salary or honorarium basis. Now, what are the examples of non-profit association? Rotary Club, Lions Club, Sports Club, cultural clubs, Chamber of Commerce, etc. are the examples of non-profit association. Now, what is Chamber of Commerce? Chamber of Commerce is nothing but a network which is formed by different business firms. Chamber of Commerce works as a spokesman. Spokesman means this Chamber of Commerce stands for the other business firms which speaks on their behalf. Now, coming to the qualification of a secretary, like if you want to be a secretary of non-profit association, what are the qualities what are the qualifications and the qualities you require? The very first one is the secretary should be acquainted with. What do you mean by acquainted with? Acquainted means being familiar with. Being familiar means you already know something or you already know someone. Being familiar with. I am known with. Okay? So the secretary should be acquainted with or familiar with the objects and basic functioning, basic working of the organization. The secretary should know already how a non-profit association works. And the second is should have a knowledge of filing. Okay, the filing, I would say, should have some knowledge of law or should know how to organize and how to keep records. Should be up to date. Filing is nothing but being up to date and to organize the records, like keeping everything properly in place. The secretary should be acquainted with the objects and basic functioning of the organization, very first one. Second is should have knowledge of filing, should have knowledge of computers, should know how to correspond, and should fulfill all the basic requirements of this type of organization. Like it should be familiar with doing correspondence, and these are nothing but the basic requirements of the organization. Coming to the second one, secretary of cooperative society. Okay, see, an association which is formed voluntarily by minimum 10 members or more. Association, again, a group. Association means a group. When a society, when a group or when an association is formed voluntarily means by choice, by one's own free will. I will come up with my free will, with my choice to form a group or an association, that is known as cooperative society. In Maharashtra, these groups are registered under the Maharashtra State Cooperative Societies Act 1960. If you want to run a cooperative society, all the members or the cooperative society should register themselves under the act, that is Maharashtra State Cooperative Societies Act 1960. Now the main objective, the main purpose behind forming these cooperative societies is to provide services to its members. Now a group of people coming together to provide service to the members. Examples are cooperative banks, cooperative housing society, consumer cooperative stores, etc. Now see how the appointment, we are going to see the appointment and the qualifications to be a secretary of cooperative society. Appointment. Members elect their representatives called management committee. When all the group members, they come together to form a society, to form an association, to form a group, they form a management committee. Okay, they form, few members are there who form a management committee. Now One of the members of the management committee is appointed as a secretary. There can be a member of 5 persons as a managing committee. From those 5 persons, one would be a member as a secretary. Now here, the Secretary of Cooperative Society works on an honorary basis. We have already seen. Now, for large-scale cooperative organizations, when the cooperative society or the cooperative organization is large, secretary may be appointed as a full-time employee on salary basis. Coming to the qualifications, the secretary does not have any specific qualification but should have a good knowledge of Cooperative Societies Act and should be at least a graduate. Now, there is no such specific qualifications to be a secretary of a cooperative society, but apart from this, the person should have good knowledge of the Cooperative Societies Act and should be at least a graduate. Coming to the third one, secretary of a joint stock company. Joint stock company is a huge topic. Now in secretarial practice in 11th standard, the whole focus or all the chapters are on joint stock company and the working of joint stock company. Today in brief, or I can say in short, I'm going to explain you what is joint stock company. Now, a joint stock company is nothing but a form of organization, a form of company which is considered to be the most suitable, it's best, or I can say it's right for organizing business activities on large scale. If you have a huge business and a huge networking, if I say you want to do a business here in the state of Maharashtra than in the state of state or in any other part of the country, like a huge network, a joint stock company is one of the best ways to do such kind of businesses. Now, a company secretary is considered to be the most important. If I say most important, the other word is coming up is key officer of the company. Now, key officer, who is a key officer? A person who is connected in the management, or I can say an officer who are there in the management positions. Now I repeat or I read, a company secretary is considered to be one of the key officers of the company, the person who's there in the management position. Now, secretary is of vital importance in the modern business organization. A secretary is needed, is very important in the modern business organization. Now we are going to see the appointment and qualifications. Now, it's appointed right from the time the company is formed. As and when a person plans to start a company, a joint stock company, right from the beginning or right from the start when the company is formed, secretary is needed or secretary is appointed. Now, this secretary works under the control of board of directors. Board of directors we are going to study in detail, but as of now, board of directors are the persons who are there in the management of the company. Now, secretary is again appointed as per the Companies Act 2013. Now, there is an act, Companies Act 2013, which has stated all the rules and regulations, their qualifications regarding the appointment of secretary. Okay, now coming to the qualifications, as per section 203 of the Companies Act 2013, the company secretary must be a member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, that is ICSI. If you want to be a secretary of joint stock company, you have to be the member of ICSI, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Coming to the fourth one, Secretary of Government Department. See, government departments are those departments working under the various ministries. That means working under various ministers of the state and central government. Ministries. What are ministries? Ministries are nothing but an office, or I can say again a group. Now we are going to see the appointment. In the functioning of Government of India and state government, a secretary is the administrative head of a ministry or department. Administrative head, to administer, to look after. Okay, so administrative head, here I can say head of the department or head of the ministry, department, units, or I can say different sectors. Now, in the union and state government, secretaries hold position as heads of the department. Here, in both the situations, you can see the secretary is considered as head of the departments, administrative heads or head of the department. Now, what are these ministries? See, finance minister you have seen, defense minister you have seen. Likewise, examples of these secretaries are finance secretary, defense secretary, home secretary, etc. Now see what are their qualifications. Here, if you want to be a secretary of a government department, one should have a graduation degree, and apart from having a graduation degree, one should pass civil service examination which is conducted by Public Service Commission and should be in Indian Administrative Services. Okay, if you want to be a secretary of government department, you should have a graduation degree, very first thing. Secondly, you have to pass a civil service examination which is conducted under Public Service Commission, and you should be in Indian Administrative Service. That means you should be a member of IAS. You should be an IAS officer. With this, we come to an end with types of secretaries. That's all for today, class. Thank you.